What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Tuesday means a tabletop takeout here at Two Gun Pixie. So thank you very much, everyone who keeps coming back for these videos. We have playlists on all these individuals that we do. Feel free to check out our playlist, and you can find all our Monday monologues, our Tabletop Tuesdays, or What's in the Pixie's Box Wednesday for our unboxings. They all have their own playlists. Go check them out. And thank you, everyone, for subscribing to the channel. It's awesome that you show your support like that. It's great. Thank you. Now, we are going to be talking about a game that's part of the series, and this is something I enjoy. I enjoy when a series is expanded in such a way that they aren't really expansions. They're standalones. You can combine them with any of the others, or play them by themselves and never having owned or even played anything else in the series. And this falls into that category. So right there, you already know one reason why I love it. Alright, so why don't we just get down to the table, and I'll tell you why I love Red Dragon Inn 6, The Villains. Now, for one moment here, Red Dragon Inn 6. Why don't we just drop that 6, just for a moment? Because I just want you to know, in case you're not familiar with the Red Dragon game system, that this is a very familiar game. Now, obviously, if you are familiar with it, it's familiar. But if you're not, that's what I'm talking about here. If you're not familiar with the game, you probably still are, because it uses the basic concept and idea of a dungeon delving party, which should be familiar to anyone that has any sort of idea or concept about fantasy, especially games. Because where do all great adventures, classically speaking, begin and end? At the tavern. Now, what this series does is it takes the dungeon delve out of it. It's gone. You've already done it. You've succeeded. And now you're back at the tavern enjoying yourself. You're spending your gold. You're drinking. You're having drinking competitions with your buddies, all to see who's going to be the last adventurer standing. We're familiar with it. And that's what matters. That's what helps draw you in if you don't know the Red Dragon Inn series. Now, game number 6 continues with the amazing art, fantastic components of the game, everything you know already. In fact, like every other Red Dragon Inn game, the number only matters to let you know how many have come out, because they're all standalone. They can mix and match with the other games, and they can be played on their own. You can use heroes and adventurers, villains, in any mixture at all. Now, you heard me correctly. I did say villains. Although this is the 6th game in the series, this is the first game that has playable villains. Yeah, you're playing the not-so-nice guys this time. Maybe the adventuring party didn't win, so now you and your buddies go topside to celebrate. And they have a nice mix. Each game comes with 4 playable heroes, and this one with the 4 playable villains, I guess I should say. We find, I hope I say the name right, Darika, who's let's say a flayer of minds. So nobody gets in any legal trouble there. We'll just leave it at that. Now, in a fantasy-style game, you couldn't be complete with a team of villains if you didn't have your vampire. and that's where Baron von Vlaslo, I got it out, Baron von Vlaslo comes in, the ancient vampire lord that you get a chance to play here. Now there's also an ancient mummy that comes to the table, quite literally, so to speak, and that's Amundir the Cursed. And finally, rounding out this 4-group villain set, we find Torgel Snarf Dunkleton, the king! The king, mind you, of all goblins. Or at least, that's what he says his title is. Now, besides bringing to the table 4 new playable characters, all of them unique with different sets of abilities, you also have a few other interesting options that come with the 6th iteration of Red Dragon Inn. Now, first of all, these are monsters, which are typically end boss kind of monsters is what we have here. Baron von Vlaslo isn't your run-of-the-mill vampire just running around like an idiot through a crypt. No, he's the mastermind behind this. They all are that level. So this game takes that into consideration and brings us a boss battle game, where basically you're going to pick one of the villains, ramp him up with some boss cards, and then it's going to be basically a one-on-all fight, is what it comes down to. And that's interesting because we haven't seen anything like that in this game system so far. We've seen a few changes, a few additions to the rules here and there, but I don't think anything this large has hit the Red Dragon Inn gaming series before. Now, we also have a deck of cards in here that are dungeon events, basically. And they're very similar to the ocean events. The Red Dragon Inn 4, I believe it was at sea. And it had a set of cards, a small deck of sea events. Maybe nothing happens, maybe a kraken attacks, maybe there's pirates. There's a whole bunch of things that might happen. This takes that and ramps it up a little bit with the dungeon event deck. So it's going to spice things up one way or another, whether you want it to or not, even if it kills you doing so. And there's a smattering of other smaller little mini games, mini module game rule sets that you can add on as well to just help make the game a little bit different than the last maybe 6. Oh, Slugfest Games Open spends 6 games that you've played already. To help change things and add things up. It's always nice to see when a game delivers more of what you know, more of what you're used to, while at the same time still giving you a little something extra, a little something new, at least one new thing to change everything up. And this does it wonderfully. Now, I don't know if I had to mention this, but obviously, if it's a game I enjoy or you should enjoy, one of the prerequisites for that is that the rules are not overly difficult, that they're easy to learn and also easy to teach, especially for a multiplayer game like this. Competitively speaking, this game is head to head, basically speaking. And the easier time you have explaining rules to new players, the more fun they're potentially going to have at the table because they're going to know what they're doing. It gets frustrating when you don't know. And the rule system keeps this light, keeps it fun, which is exactly what the game is. This game itself is all tongue-in-cheek, even though it deals with alcohol and, well, let's face it, alcohol poisoning, because it's whoever doesn't pass out and keeps their money, wins. But it's done almost like a farce. It's farcically fun. So please, if you have any of the other Red Dragon game inns, I think you should consider adding 6 to your set. Now, I know not everyone is a completionist, and not everyone sitting out there that has played the game and enjoyed the game necessarily sees themselves going out and getting every single thing for it. I understand that. But there are enough different things in this, and hey, you get to play villains. There's a few games that do that. Not a lot. There should be more. So that's always fun. And if you don't know Red Dragon in games, this is a great game to check out. So I just wanted to inform you on this and let you know so you can go make up your own mind. I'm your buddy Big John at G for Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming, and I am